Dion, to you first. Is it strange to be in a position not knowing what shape Environment Canterbury will take by Christmas even?
No, not really, because I'm up for the challenge. There is definitely going to be a fair bit of change coming through with the RMA reforms, but let's see what they look like and let's get on with the challenge ahead. There is a huge amount of opportunities. So, as we've been talking about for quite some time, this council's ready to shape what those changes look like, and let's start the conversation when we know what the RMA reforms look like.
Do you know what some of those changes may be? Any inclination as to how big they'll be?
No, we've had some indications about they're going to be big, but the government and most of the people who were giving us information or sharing information through the process have gone very tight-lipped since it started to get closer to the deadline, which makes me think that the changes may be quite big. So we will see in probably about 3 weeks what they look like.
Deputy Cranwell, how excited are you being the Deputy Chair, and why is this role particularly important for you?
Oh, very excited. Very happy to work alongside Dion. Dion and Craig Pauling had a great relationship for a year and a half in the last training, and seeing Dion come through and be chair, and myself to be deputy chair, and form another tight team to move forward. As Chair Swiggs has already said, there's lots of challenges coming forward from the government with not only RMA reforms but also local government reforms. And working with this current council, the 14 other councillors as well, a lot of challenges ahead. And as we said at our first council meeting, we're here to represent Waitaha Canterbury, and so we're trying to form a team to look at what's the challenges are ahead and help implement those across the region.
Dion, you've managed to speak across the divide, really, which isn't easy. How have you managed to achieve that?
Relationships, Chris. You've just got to talk to people. Most people, I think, when you really talk to them, want a very similar thing. They want to make sure that the economy is sound, that the environment is safe, and thinking about the future generations. That's what most people are really thinking about when you boil it down. And so talking to people and finding those common ground is what I do, and it's what I try and achieve. And when you do that, you start to get good outcomes. And those outcomes are what we need to see with all the work that local council, all local councils want to see good outcomes in their communities. And that's what I'm laser focused on with being in the chair and the role that we've got for the next 3 years.
What do either of you see as the main priorities for Canterbury and the environment in this term ahead?
So I'll start with one that we need to be laser focused on is RMA reform. We talked about that before with the first question that you asked around what may be the future of regional government. But within the RMA reform, whatever the change that happens, there are some really important things that do need to be maintained, and river resilience is one of them. We've got a lot of rivers in our region, 64 rivers, and some of those rivers are massive. And as you saw the other week, we had some major floods coming from, not even from rain locally, from the hills, the 8th biggest flood event within the Waimakariri River. And the flood resilience scheme that we have in place in that river on the Waimakariri is second to none. But we don't have that same protection across the region. We recently got some money from the government. Thank you very much, Shane Jones and the Regional Infrastructure Fund. And now we need to deliver. So we need, that's going to be a really big key focus for me. And then water quality, I think Jan's got a real focus on that.
Yeah, in terms of water quality, it's a fine balancing act, isn't it, Jan? But we do need to do something about our lakes and rivers, particularly across Canterbury, don't we?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's not only what's in the groundwater, but on the surface water as well. We know that we have to work on things, but we have to bring our community along with us. So we have our science team and our community teams out there at the moment. Not only talking across sector with agriculture sector, but also in the research area, looking at ways of not only measuring what's actually in the water, etc., but also thinking about what are some of the solutions moving forward. But we have to take the whole community with us, and that's what we're looking at. I mean, at the end of the last training, we passed 3 strategies. So the gravel, the graded rivers, but also biodiversity. And that kind of ties in with what Dion just said about river resilience. And we're going to have to work with our TAs, especially and working with our TAs, they have to bring in the communities together. So the challenges ahead, but I believe that because one thing that Dion and I will be doing, we have to get out into the regions. We have to go out, visit our mayors and our territorial authorities, and get out there and be seen and working alongside them.
And I suppose this leads me to my next question: is how do you balance the environmental protection with economic growth, particularly in a region that is so reliant on agriculture?
Yeah, our economy is going great at the moment, and Canterbury is probably one of the shining lights of the economy, the economic activity within the entire country at the moment. But that does come with consequence, and the consequences through the activity. Some of those activities create pollution that we need to manage. And that's what a regional council's role is, to manage the impact of the activity that we want to do to generate that economic growth. It is a balancing act, and we're not always going to get it right, and it's not always going to be easy, but that's where those relationships are really critical, that Jane was talking about, getting out to our TAs, getting out to those communities in the region, understanding where those hotspots are, and then being able to adapt policies and strategies to make sure that we're addressing some of those concerns, but also bringing the industry along with us, because there's no point anymore, and especially with the RMA reforms that are coming through, there is no point in having a loggerhead kind of conversation where you're battling others because you have a fundamental difference in what you think. Find the commonalities and then make sure that we can address them.
Jane, how do you see Environment Canterbury's relationship with the Christchurch City Council evolving this term?
Hopefully, similar to what Dion just said, hopefully with relationships, because unfortunately, at the end of last training, we probably didn't catch up with Christchurch City Council. So hopefully with our new council, one of the first things we can do before Christmas is actually sit down with the Christchurch City councillors and actually find out where our commonalities are. And what some of those is biodiversity, some of the also looking at not only the urban rivers as well, and actually what runs off point source, etc., what runs off into our water systems here, and how can we work together to make sure we protect the urban area as well.
Well, Jim, and I wish you both well. You've got a very hard task ahead, but I have every confidence you're up to the challenge, and it's nice to speak with you both. Congratulations on both positions, and have a great day.
Kia ora, Chris. Tēnā koe.
Thanks, Chris.